Hello friends, this is Andre Desjardins for Amhonket Crack-a-Pack number 4. So now that I've gotten a few drafts under my belt and seen some things people have been doing, let's do a wonderful Crack-a-Pack. Grab that garbage there. What do we have? An insect and a plains. Alright. Woo! So first up is Winged Shepherd. It's a 3/3 flying Vig for 6, which by itself isn't very good, but it has cycling 1. Any expensive creature with cycling 1, I think at minimum I have to give a C+. This particular body I found has been great. Like, actually great. Hard to deal with. The fact it's Vig. Great on offense and defense. So I give it a, I think of all the expensive creatures that cycle, this is probably the best of them. But still, it's only a C+. It's not a particularly great body, but the fact it has cycling in it is going to make you want to play it a lot more than other cards. Alright, next up we have Essence Scatter. It's blue and colorless, instant counter target creature spell. On draft, I find this is D-. There's not... The problem with counter spells in a lot of formats is... In a lot of draft formats is if there's not a big flash theme, you can hold up mana and they can, play an artifact or just not play a spell or attack you. And then you've done nothing with your turn. It's still a fine card though. I'd give it a C-. The 2 mana makes it cheap enough in the later game. You can do something and still have this up. But I'm not thrilled to play an Essence Scatter, but it'll sometimes make my decks. Alright, Desert Cestrodon. See what I said about Winged Shepherd, and I say the same about Desert Cestrodon. C+. Forsake the Worthy. Exile target artifact or enchantment. 1 white, 2 colorless instant with cycling 2. So I really like cards like this that may or may not see play. I still think this is a sideboard card. I wouldn't main deck one like I would the green Kill Flyer, just because I don't think a lot of the artifacts or enchantments are that important to get rid of, but this is a very high-grade sideboard card. Of course, we're not looking to first pick this, but if you're in white and you don't have one, I would recommend treating it, pack 3 as a very high pick, or pick it up later in some of the other packs, but unlike anything that kills a creature conditionally with cycling, there's not a bunch of artifact creatures or enchantments that I think this is worth main decking. But it's an A sideboard card. This is a great sideboard card. Alright, Giant Spider. It's big, it's spider, it's scary, it has 4 reach, it's 4 mana for a 2/4. It's a C, maybe a C-. I don't know, but it's very mediocre. But I love you, Giant Spider. Alright, Dune, not Dung, Beetle. It's a 1/4 for 2. That is a lot of butt for 2 mana. It's great for defense, and even in the -1/-1 counters decks, it's a great creature to throw a bunch of -1/-1 counters on. So it can help block early and then do that. I still think it's worse than the creatures with cycling, though. I'm going to give it a C. You'll be happy to play it. You're not happy to first pick it, but I still think any of the 6 mana creatures with cycling, you're happier to first pick and play. Alright, Unwavering Initiate. It's a 3/2 with Vig for 3, and it has Embalm for 5. I think all of the Embalm creatures are actually playable. The Embalm cost seems to matter. 2 isn't a great toughness because there's a lot of 2-power creatures that just trade with things. But I would give Unwavering Initiate a C+. It's up there with the cycling creatures. I think whichever one you would take first is your own preference, but I'm still not looking to first pick this guy. Alright, Sunscourged Desert. It's a land desert. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target player, and it taps for colorless. This is a D. This effect is so nothing to ruin your mana base for. D minus. Like, you don't want this. The aggressive decks don't want it because they want to hit their color. Alright, Splendid Agony, a card I haven't got a chance to play, but has been played on me a lot. It's a black and 2 colorless, instant, distribute 2 -1/-1 counters among 1 or 2 target creatures. B minus, which is saying a lot. Usually I wouldn't think these combat pseudo-removal spells like Cruel Finality are that great, but because you distribute it among 2 creatures, there are quite a few 1 toughness creatures that have Exert on them, so it can be a 2-for-1, or the fact it just stays makes this a B. This is like B minus, but this is the front runner of this pack so far. Alright, Pursuing Some Glory. Attacking creatures get +2/+0 until end of turn. It's in red instant for 3 colorless and a red, and you can cycle the 2. This I find is a little odd, because a lot of times there are the red-white token decks, but red-white seems to be more of an Exert theme here. Still with cycling it can't be that bad. I'll give it a C-. You may want to play it, you may not. Any conditional cards like this with cycling just get better, though. Alright, we're into the uncommons. Enigma Drake. It is a blue and a red creature drake with flying. It is a star 4, where stars equal the number of instants and sorcery cards in your graveyard. There may be some red-blue spell deck out there. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure how easy it is to draft. I know from theory crafting I think there is one. And if you're in that deck, you're going to take this as a B or B+, but you're not looking to first pick this card. I think the deck may be difficult to bring together, because a lot of the, especially red good instants and sorceries, all the other red decks are going to want. There's definitely some blue cyclers that you can get just to dump in your graveyard and pump this guy, but his power level by himself is not worth like taking and like, I'm going to force this deck. That's not worth it. As a first pick, I think he's a D. You don't want to pick this thing first, but when you're in that deck and you realize you do have that deck, it's a B. Like, it can be massive for nothing, but a gold card like this is a reward card for being in a deck, because no one else should want it. And I don't even think every red-blue deck wants it. Alright, Warfare Javelier. It's a 2/3 for 4. When it enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to target creature an opponent controls, where X is the number of instants and sorcery cards in your grave. So, as a first pick, this is a... I'm going to go C-, because you do, or sorry, not C-, C+, because you do need some instants or sorceries to make it work. That being said, you probably only need 2 for it to kill something, and then you're getting a 2-for-1, which is pretty good. And in that red-blue sorcery deck I'm talking about, you probably want this guy before the Drake, because he can just reach out and kill somebody. Like, if you cycle some blue junky commons that no one else wants into your grave, you can probably kill a real creature with this guy. So, in that deck, I think it's actually higher than the Enigma Drake. And as a first pick, it's higher. The floor is, lower, and the ceiling is higher than the Drake. Alright. Oh, buddy. Gravedigger, we have just the most solid 2-for-1 in a while. It's a 2/2 for 4. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. This thing is like a B- to me. It's just an amazing 2-for-1. It's the front runner from what I've seen so far. Gravedigger is going to get its man or zombie or whatever. So right now I'm taking Gravedigger over Splendid Agony. And for the rare, we have a snake, which is a 4/3 cat snake. Prowling Cephalid, 4/3 for 1 and 2 green. It can't be countered, and creature spells can't be countered. It's in limited. The text really doesn't matter. It's a big body. The double green, I think, makes it a C+. You're going to be happy to play this turn 3, but there are enough 3 power creatures around to deal with this. I think it's a C+. It's probably one of the higher C+. I'd probably put it on the same level as the Javelier, but for my first pick, I'm going to take Gravedigger. I think Gravedigger is just the best card in this pack. Not very close. All right, that was my Crack-a-Pack number 4. This is Andre Aguides Desjardins. Have a good day.